Good evening, boys and girls. It's a new week, blank canvas. Let's paint pictures, let's tell stories. And he's back. You've been waiting for this moment. Here we go.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. The big man is back in the house. My podcast brother from another mother, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell.
Squaddies, it's good to be back. It's not good to be back for what we're going to deal with, but we've got to deal with it. So, Squaddies, at ease and let's get in.
Super Kev, I'd like to start on a positive note for you. Well done to the Toffees beating Manchester United at the weekend. Huge relief for your old club.
Huge performance, huge result. And isn't it crazy how this league works? You look at the Burnley game, you think all doom and gloom. Everton win at the weekend and then Burnley get beat at Norwich. So it flips it right back to where it was. So really good performance and good result.
One that we couldn't really capitalize on. AFC Cape Town says, if I join the show tonight, are you going to add fuel to the fire inside me, or are you going to try to cool me down? Well, you're going to have to just stay tuned and find out. What do you think, Kev?
I have no idea. It depends what side of the fence he sits on, I suppose. But I'm sure you'll get a little bit hot, but we could always calm it down.
All right. Well, good evening to everyone in the house. Kev, they've been dying to know what you think. Also, make sure you always let us know, is the sound to your liking this evening? I'm sure it is. It's coming through crisp and clear on our end.
The computer's had a rest, so the computer's put his feet up and chilled out a weekend without me. So it's just been chilling at home. So he's back to work now. Today was been crazy day.
Well, look, I've been dying to know what you think because Kev's been really busy. He's been traveling a lot, and we haven't spoken at all about the game.
We've kept it.
We've deliberately kept it to tonight. So it is Monday Madness top 5 talking points, but this is just going to flow, I think. I'm going to start with the question everyone has DM'd me about. Kevin, is it Arteta's fault that we lost at the weekend? Is he to blame?
Of course you can blame the manager. It's easy. That's the easy one, to blame the manager. I think you can question the selection for sure, Sophie. The selection for sure. Who plays where? We've lost Thomas Partey in the midfield. Who, do you remember rightly, Kev says, was it 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. And we said, who's the most important player? And I know we didn't play well at Crystal Palace, but if we lose him, we are really struggling. So to lose him and Kieran Tierney as well, two of our most important players, it's going to be very difficult to combat that. What I expected, as you well know, Sophie, I didn't want Saka to move from right wing to left. So what I really wanted was Holding to come in, Ben White to go at right back, and Cedric to go at left back. So that's what I wanted. Why? Because I still think we've played that way before with Holding coming in, and it still makes us solid at the back. It still makes us a lot more solid at the back. If we start doing things a bit too fancy, there's a lot of onus on the players then. And I know I say it's always the players, but there's a lot of onus on the players who haven't played to deliver. And Sophie, we didn't do it. So is the manager to blame? Yeah, you can say he's to blame because of the selection. Yeah, you can.
He's completely to blame for this loss. He's Crystal Palace, Kev. We came on after and we were like 1-11, no excuses. Everyone was
rubbish.
poor.
Yeah.
Absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
We even said like maybe the subs, you know, a little sooner. Let's be a bit more ruthless within the game management. Kev, you have been critical of this guy, and you have been very clear about not even wanting him at the club. It's not his fault. I don't blame him for the first goal. I don't blame him for his performance. Instinctively in the second half, you could see the dude just wanted to be in the middle. And it was like they were confused. Was Martinelli playing left wing back? Was Xhaka playing left back? He was going more central. I mean, it was just a debacle. But I want to really get stuck into you with, I said to you after Crystal Palace that Nuno will never play another game for the Arsenal. Did I say that?
You said that. Yeah.
Right.
But he will.
No. How can he?
He will.
When?
It's only I don't know when, but he will. That's not he's not finished at Arsenal. No chance.
Well, why wouldn't he throw him back? You said you've got to let players play out of their funk. You've got to let players play out.
Hey, Sophie, I said you do have to let players, but where we are, we haven't got time to allow him sometimes. So that's why I would move Cedric to the left.
So
that's why I would do that.
But Kev, he bought Nuno. He bought Sambi. They're his players.
Yeah,
and
Sophie,
what he's saying,
that doesn't matter if he's bought them or not. The kid is struggling, Soph. The kid is struggling, really struggling. So, do you throw him into the fire and just expect him to come good when his confidence is shot? His confidence is shot.
Why is that, though? Why isn't the manager doing a better job managing these kinds of players?
Because, Sophie, the manager can't play the game on the pitch for them.
I understand that.
But when you ask me the question, I'm going to answer. When Nuno is picked to play, it's up to him to perform. It's not up to the manager. It's up to him. He hasn't performed for whatever reason. He hasn't been mentally right. He hasn't been good enough, whatever. We're going for a top 4 spot, aren't we? So we haven't got time. We haven't got time to babysit. So
at the beginning of the season, and at times, people have said Nuno is a better option than Kieran Tierney. People came on this show and said that.
Yeah, but that's then. This is now. We got to deal with now.
Okay, so
we get nothing for what happened before.
Okay, so Mikel Arteta then does exactly the same thing he did in the Europa League semi-final against Emery, the man that he replaced and got schooled. And he's doing it again. So, in his press conference, he said that players like Nuno have to learn from their mistakes. You can only learn from your mistakes if you play games, right? The other thing he said...
Not necessarily. No, but you have to... He played the game, Soph, and he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. So he has to learn from his mistakes. That don't mean straight away you play automatically the next game, but you have to learn. All
right, so I'm going to park my Xhaka left back for 1 second. Don't let me forget, squaddies. Why is Lacazette still being picked? He hasn't scored in 19 games. Why is Lacazette still being picked then with that same token? If he doesn't offer the team anything...
Lacazette hasn't scored in 19 games.
He hasn't scored in a lot of games.
No, but you just said he hasn't scored in 19 games.
He hasn't scored since the penalty.
Yeah,
how many games
but that's a goal. Yeah, but that's a goal. Lacazette is the only forward he trusts to knit the team together. Sophie,
I'm not asking what he thinks. I'm asking why you think he keeps... Why is Lacazette...
I'm answering the question if you let me answer.
But you're giving me an answer... Go on then.
Go on. You say what you're going to say and I'll answer it after. Because you are not letting me speak. So go on.
You're saying that we're fighting for top 4 and that confidence is key and that we need players who are no one's in form right now over the last 2 games, let's be honest. Why is it then that Lacazette is being picked when currently he offers nothing to the team? And this is a player, as you know, I've defended to the hilt. Why, Kevin?
No, Sophie, he does offer something to the team. He does.
What?
How can you say he doesn't offer anything to the team?
He hasn't recently.
No, but because the team haven't played well in the last 2 games.
He hasn't played well.
But you tell me who's played well in the last 2 games.
Cedric has played decently.
If Cedric's the first one out your mouth, we're struggling, and that's exactly what.
But we said that after Palace and after.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it again now because the team have taken a dip, Sophie. The team are not of that level where they were. So let me get into it then. You're asking me about Lacazette. Who else is going to do the job that Lacazette could do? We've already discussed this. Nobody could do that job.
16
Nobody
games.
does the job. The fact of the matter is, Lacazette. Yeah, but that's open play. He scored a penalty. So whether he's an open play or a penalty, it's still a goal. So stop it. The fact of the matter is, he played crap. 100% he played crap. But again, this is all after the event. Would you have trusted Eddie to start or Lacazette? I would have trusted Lacazette.
I say it as I see it. Kev, I've been so critical of Eddie Nketiah, but to me right now he offers a little bit more than Lacazette. He comes on with the points of proof and confidence. Yeah, I would start Eddie over Lacazette against Southampton.
You would have started Eddie on Saturday over Lacazette.
I would have.
No, I'm talking
about
bought
Saturday.
Him on
sooner. I would have bought him on
no,
sooner.
No, I'm not talking about. You see, that's different.
Okay,
I'm not talking
here's what
about
I would have done.
on.
Here's what I
I'm
would
just
have
on
done.
about would you have started Eddie ahead of Lacazette on Saturday? That's all.
I said to you before the game that I would play Saka at left back, bring Pepe in his position, start Emile Smith-Rowe on the left, Odegaard in the middle, and Martinelli up front against Brighton, who hadn't scored in 9 games, whose defence has been absolute garbage, and who have never ever won a game in the Premier League in the month of April. I would have done that at home to give Lacazette a bit of a breather, and then if things weren't working out, I would say, Lacazette, come on for 20 minutes. That's what I said I would do, and I stick by my guns on that one.
But so that wasn't Eddie. The question was, would you have started Eddie?
I would have started anyone over Lacazette.
But you didn't. You see, you wouldn't because you didn't say you would have started Eddie. You said Lacazette would have. You said Martinelli would have started up front for you.
My first choice, yes, but you're asking me a question now.
No, but you didn't answer it. You went off. I asked you, would you have started Eddie for Lacazette on Saturday? And you went off and spoke about something else. You wouldn't have done it, Soph. You wouldn't have. So
I wouldn't have started Lacazette, and I'm telling you, I won't start Lacazette. I'd rather Eddie plays against Southampton up front.
No, yeah, but that's Southampton. We'll get to that, I'm sure, in this week. But let's deal with the carnage that was Saturday. So, for me,
which the manager caused.
One bad game is one thing. Then you're expecting the team to respond. And if we're honest, most of the time, most of this season, the team have responded. The team have responded after a real poor performance like they put in against Crystal Palace. So this was kind of new to us. 2 really poor games. And we can question everything. Of course we can. And we're going to question everything. But the bottom line is, Sophie, our form has dipped. We are not, for whatever reason, we are not the same Arsenal that we saw before the international break. We are not the same Arsenal. We don't have the same zip in our play. We don't have the same desire. It's not there. Brighton coming to the Emirates and controlling the game? No chance. But they did.
Name blocked. Lacazette is one of the reasons why we were able to be resurgent when Oba left. I've lauded him. I've said that even if he doesn't score goals, what he contributes to the team is enormous. He's like our Bobby Firmino. But if you think I'm going to sit here and cheerlead a player who has been so poor in the last few games just because I've lauded him before, sorry, I'm not going to do that. I say things as I see them. I'm honest in my assessment. I'm not just going to sit here and praise Arteta today after what happened at the weekend. I'm not just going to sit here and praise Lacazette. I'm not going to sit here and praise Emile Smith-Rowe. I'm just not going to do it. That doesn't take away from the fact that I've supported them previously when they've deserved it. Now is the most important time of the season, and we found our worst form. We've played our worst 2 games. I think worse than Everton, worse than Brentford, Kev. Our 2 worst games.
We've dipped, Soph. You're right. We have dipped. And because it's such an important time, Soph, because it's such an important time and it means so much to us because it's there. We could see it there. Now all of our leverage, all of our cushion, everything's gone. Everything's gone now. We win our game in hand. We're level. But their goal difference is like an extra point. So, again, we've got it all to do, Soph. We have got it all to do yet again. Could we see this happening? We have had discussions about us coming up short previously, and we hope injuries don't take its toll on us, etc. And what happens? It does. Soph, it does. It comes back and bites us. But you know what? You know what I'm not going to do, Soph? I'm not going to go overboard because we are still in with a shout. We still can get top 4.
Yes,
even though our form is terrible right now, there is still enough games for us to get top 4. Funny things happen in football, so I'm just hoping we can find some form and it happens for us.
I believe.
If it doesn't,
I believe that it's not over until mathematics tells us, right? However, without Tierney, Partey, and Tomiyasu, it's going to be harder. But here's why, Kev, I've lost a little bit of faith. And you tell me what you think of this, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Arteta is going to continue to play Xhaka at left back, and this is with me circling back to my original point, the Europa League semi-final, square pegs, round holes, bad decisions, right? Made mistakes. He said that Nuno's going to learn from his mistakes, but then he doubles down and he says that our team played with no courage. Kev, did he pick a team as manager against Brighton with courage, or did he pick a team out of fear? Because I never saw any courage from the manager in his players. And how dare he sit there and point the finger at his players when he's supposed to support them and say they played with no courage? That was a low, arrogant moment for him. I was so annoyed by that comment. Right.
Well, do you know what? Yeah, be annoyed because he was annoyed. These are people he's trusted. These are players who have earned the right, Soph. They've earned the right to represent us out on that pitch. They've earned the right.
Not as left back, as a midfielder, Xhaka has earned the right.
Look, I'm saying they've earned the right. Arsenal are in a position where we didn't expect to be. The players have performed excellent this season. They've been excellent this season, considering we're the youngest side and our numbers are low. We lack quality, we lack experience, we lack all the bits and pieces. But here's the thing. When you are the manager, you're picking a team to go out there and execute. It's very rarely he's come in after a game and said the players haven't done what he wanted to do. Very rare. That performance, those last two performances, Sophie, this is what we were seeing last season, early on. Inept, no energy, no purpose, no drive, no desire. So the manager is the manager. Listen, it was said so many times, George Graham, it's a challenge because he wants the reaction. He ain't getting the reaction. He's expecting those players, Sophie, to back at the Emirates, roll the sleeves up, Brighton, and absolutely go for the jugular.
Kev, it's such a young team. Okay, that is
Sophie, stop that right now. Stop it.
You haven't let me finish my sentence.
No, and I don't want you to, because you know what, Sophie? Here's why I don't want you to.
Excuse me?
Here's why I don't want you to, Sophie. How could we be going for the top four and then you're going to use it's such a young team? The young team have put us in this position.
Kev, the point is the young team have been playing in a system with their teammates, knowing their jobs, understanding what's at stake. At Crystal Palace, Emile Smith-Rowe was looking at Arteta confused and putting his arms up in the air. My point, if you'd have let me finish my sentence, was that this is a young team who isn't used to playing with Xhaka at left back, who isn't used to playing with Sambi in midfield, like Jon Snow in the Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards episode where the horses are coming at him and he's standing there with the sword. Exposed. That they haven't been used to playing like that. A young team isn't as adaptable, especially when it's high stress and pressurized moments, Kev.
Okay,
the
Sophie,
he showed no courage in his players against Brighton at home. He chose Xhaka at left back and left Sambi exposed.
Sophie, we've already spoke about that. That's on him. His selection is on him. I've said that.
No, but you're defending.
You keep coming back to Xhaka at left back and all that. I've already said that's on the manager. That is on the manager. The team he picks, Xhaka out of position. I would have wanted him in midfield, 100%. That's his. If any position he's going to play, he's got to play in the centre of midfield.
But you're spinning it.
No, I'm not spinning it. I'm saying he picks the team. He picks the team he thinks he's going to win. The fact that they never performed, we're now going to pick the bones out of Xhaka playing left back and da-da-da. But the bottom line is this as far as I'm concerned, Soph. We could talk about this is a young team, etc. Yes, they are young, but they are the ones who have got us in this position. You can't tell me players don't know how to play with a new left back. You can't tell me the players don't know what to do. They know what to do. They know what to do. But Sophie,
not in the last two games, they haven't.
Sophie, of course they know what to do, but the form hasn't been there. The performances have not been there.
So, Kev, the performances haven't been there.
Yes.
This team has got us there. Why can't this manager get a rise out of them right now at the most important part of the season?
Sophie, and that is what will be pulling. That's why he'll be pulling his hair out. Because let me tell you something, Sophie. I've said this on here. I've said this on here many times before, and I'm going to keep repeating myself because you know I'm like an old broken record and it winds people up, but I will keep telling you. The team will prepare the same way. The team will train. The team will do the keys. The team will do the video analysis. They will do everything so they are ready to play. When the team cross the white line, it's up to the players to be able to perform.
But how does that go, that form, like Take That says? I think Sophie means, why does form just go like that?
Because it does. That's the way life goes. It is football. I tell you what, if I could bottle it, Sophie, I'd be a trillionaire. Because you know what? Earlier on in the season, that lot down the road were messing up left, right, and centre, weren't they? and they had a world-class manager.
Yeah, but what they've done,
But hold
Kev,
on,
is that
hold
world-class
on,
manager
hold on,
brought in two
hold
players in
on,
January.
Hold on. They had a world-class manager. They've got a lot more experienced team than we've got. But we've dipped at the wrong time, Soph. Usually, the top teams peak at the right time. We are not peaking at the right time. We have slipped. And you could say it's because we're young. I understand that, no problem. But you can't say he picks a team to lose. No, you pick a team to win. The team have dipped, unfortunately, and we can go in and out of this squad as much as we like. The selection was on the manager, 100%, Sophie.
If we had replaced Aubameyang in January, or bought in someone on loan, or bought in a couple of players, would we still be in this same position?
We don't know.
Oh
Again,
no, but I'm asking
no,
you
but
to...
that's hypothetical. So I don't know, because the person who comes in, would he hit the ground running? I don't know. I don't know. But this is what I will say, because we're dealing with this. We could talk hypotheticals all we like. If we'd have bought six players,
Okay, let me give you hypotheticals that have become practicals. Newcastle United invested in a player that we were interested in, supposedly. Kieran Trippier, who's injured now, but was hit the ground running, made captain, changed their trajectory. Chris Wood changed them up front. And Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle are safe from relegation now. 3 investments. I think there's someone I'm missing. Tottenham.
Burn at the back.
Tottenham. Antonio Conte. Gamesmanship. Genius. Cried in front of the camera. Literally threw his toys out the pram. Gets the 2 Juve players who have completely changed the trajectory of Tottenham's season, because what have they done? They've enhanced Son and Kane. Now, I am all for the deadwood going. Get rid of the toxicity. You and I have completely agreed on that. Most sensible Arsenal fans agree on this. Aubameyang wasn't doing it for us. But like you say, peaks and troughs, right? Peaks and troughs players. You can't get rid of everybody and not bring anyone in when you have the youngest team in the Premier League. And you and I sat here and said that, is that going to come back to bite us in the arse? And when you see Newcastle being saved, when you see Tottenham now soaring because these players have settled in, look at United and Arsenal. 2 managers not experienced enough in this position at this point in the season in the Premier League, making bad decisions. 2 clubs with owners who didn't invest in January in their squads to allow them the ability to maybe close the deal for 4th. And Tottenham, an experienced manager who's been here before and finally got backed in the transfer market in January. 2 players changed their fortunes. Now, I'm not saying it's over for us, but my goodness, we've made it very difficult for ourselves. How can it not be that bringing in a couple of extra players in January would have given Arteta more options and better options beyond our starting 11, which if they're not fit, the bench is weak sauce.
Sophie, over everything you've said, I've agreed with you before. The fact of the matter is, we didn't bring anybody in because of whatever. So we have to go with it. That's what we have to do. Again, I'm not going to be crying about January anymore. No. The fact that it's biting us now is different, because you know what? We're in it. I want these players. The players have proved that they can perform. Now they're not performing. That's the other problem, Sophie. As opposed to looking at who we could have brought in, these players right now are not performing.
Okay, so Sambi Lokonga, let's take him as an example. Sambi, who you and I think is a talented young player. Do you know how much it broke my heart at the weekend when I would see people, and influential people like Curtis Shaw, saying, he's not ready, he's not ready. Meanwhile, he's been captain of Anderlecht at 21 playing for Vincent Kompany. Thierry Henry recommended him to the Arsenal. How is it you lose Thomas Partey, who has been superb since Africa Cup of Nations. Been poor and inconsistent for a lot of the season.
He was
but
good before that as well. Don't forget.
One game against Liverpool.
No, he was good before that, Soph. He wasn't good. He was good. He was good against City. He was good. He's had a decent season.
He's been good for like 2 or 3 months of the season. But the point is, he's our best midfielder. No argument there, right? You lose him, leaves a gaping hole, Kevin.
Yep, it does. Big one. Yeah.
So when you say the player's form has dipped, he hasn't even played. He's been put into the midfield.
I'm not on about him. I'm on about the. Listen, there's a lot of players there who have been starters, regular starters. The form ain't the same. That's what I'm on about. When Sam becomes in, Soph, I'm expecting the team to help his level go up because he hasn't played. So I can't put it on Sambi. Sambi is going to play his game, but it's for them around him who are going to help Sambi. That's why I would have had Xhaka beside him, Cedric at left back, Ben White at right back, and I would have brought Rob Holding in beside Gabriel. That's why I would have done that.
So this is why I've lost a little faith, because I don't trust Arteta now to pick the team that he should in order for us to garner top 4. Do you think that Nuno comes back into the team against Southampton at the weekend?
No.
Right. Is he going to play Xhaka at left back?
No.
Is he going to play El Neni? We're even better off with El Neni and Lokonga in midfield if he wants to play. Or El Neni and Xhaka in midfield. Just, again, now Sambi's going to be benched. What does that do to his confidence? He's killing 2 of his own signings by the decisions that he's making. This was the 3rd of 3 games, Kev, that you and I said we could not afford to lose. A must win.
And
he's gambling at the wrong time of the season. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not
saying he has to gamble. He has to gamble.
You gamble, calculated gamble, not
but he has to gamble.
Burn the house down gamble.
No,
why?
But Sophie, he has to gamble. We want to get top 4, don't we? That's why he has to gamble. Now,
but he's made that gamble before and lost money playing Xhaka at left back.
Yeah, but Sophie, it's his gamble. That's why I'm saying it's on the manager. The selection is on the manager. I've said it. It's on him.
Yeah, but you're saying he has to gamble. He doesn't. He didn't have to make that gamble, Kev.
Sophie, it's his gamble. What do you mean he doesn't have to? It's up to him who he chooses, is it not?
I'm asking you, Kev. I'm not interviewing
And I've just said
Arteta.
It's on him. He's got it wrong in my eyes. But it's his gamble.
No, listen to what I'm asking you. That's not the point. You said he's got to take risks. He didn't
He has
have
to take risks.
Kevin, let me finish. He didn't have to take this risk in this game. He did not. He could have played what you said. He could have played Cedric there. He could have played Saka there.
Sophie, hold on a minute. What are you talking about? It's just a selection. It's his selection. What are you talking about this? It's his selection. He's the manager. He lives and dies by his decisions,
I'm
does he not?
asking you. I'm giving you my own
and
opinion.
I've just said what I think, Sophie. Why is it when I say what I think, you're all of a sudden telling me, no you're asking me?
We agree on the fact that he made the mistake with how, but the question here is, you said he's got to take these risks. No, he didn't have to take this risk in this game to play Xhaka at left back and leave Sambi on his own in midfield.
Sophie, hold on a minute. So let me just ask this question. So if he puts Cedric left back, Ben White right back, Holding right in the centre half, and Holding as a nightmare against Brighton, what do you reckon we're going to be discussing?
That's a calculated risk.
It's a selection.
Okay.
He has to, whichever way you go, Sophie, he has to take a risk.
That isn't as big a risk as playing Xhaka at left back when we've seen that movie before.
But that's according to you.
It's according to a lot of Arsenal fans.
It doesn't matter. What Arsenal fans think is their opinion. There's one person who picks the team, Sophie. That's the manager. It's his decision. It's his choice. It's his risk. He's
It
the
was
one
a
who has to weigh up the
stupid
risk. Yes, I agree.
Okay, you never
but it's
said
still
that.
a risk.
Oh my God. Kev, that's not what you said. That's not what you said at all. He
Did I
didn't
or
have
did I
to.
not
You
say
said
he has to take a risk?
Yeah, but not
Did I
this
say
risk. Not
no,
this
no, no.
risk in this
No,
game.
I said
You
he
said
has
no.
to take a risk. I said he has to take risks. But this is his risk. I might not agree with the selection, Sophie, but it's his risk. He has to take risks. Because you know what? If we'd have won that game on Saturday, would we be having this conversation today about Xhaka playing left back? No, we wouldn't. But the fact of the matter is, we were awful on Saturday and we got turned over at the Emirates by Brighton. That's why we can chop and look at it all. But if we'd have won, there would be nobody questioning it. Nobody.
We didn't.
No, but that's the whole point. It's his risk. You might not agree with his selection, but it's his risk.
Okay,
that's
so let's.
Why,
okay,
that's why it's at his door.
Right. Of course, we agree on that.
Yeah,
we agree on that. But it was a stupid risk that he took. That's
Sophie,
an opinion. That's an opinion.
Sophie.
And let me finish.
It's all opinion, Soph. It's
Kev,
all opinion.
What if he does exactly the same thing against Southampton? What if he picks Xhaka at left back? Because he's got that pep, arrogant chip.
But what if he does? What if he does? That's his decision, Sophie. And you know what? He might pick the same team and there's a different result. So what then?
I'm asking you if you
so
think
I'm
that's
saying
right.
It's his risk. If he picks the same team, I don't agree. I've already said I don't agree, Soph.
Okay, I'm asking about Southampton. If you
I've said I don't agree. I've already said it. I don't agree. But it's his decision who he picks.
Which circles back to the young team, being set up to fail. He set Sambi up to fail.
It's not setting up to fail. We are weaker without them players that are injured. That's for sure. The fact of the matter is, Sophie, when you're a player who comes into a team, you need help you need a supporting cast.
Okay, so
we couldn't help Sambi. We couldn't help him.
Okay, so my point is that with all that said, he keeps picking Lacazette, who can't score goals right now and offers very little. He's not even giving Pepe a chance, who could come in and do something a little bit different, had a good African Cup of Nations, has been decent when he's come on. He continues to pick Eddie Nketiah, who doesn't even want to be at the club, and has left us in a situation where Aubameyang completely
don't say that because you said he would play against Southampton.
Yes, but let me finish.
So where are you going with all this?
I'm going to the point of the matter where you talk about the team having dipped in form. He's a manager who's supposed to keep this team up, and his decision making doesn't align with the fact that he has a young team that can't be as adaptable. He doesn't have the experienced
align because
players.
It's a different opinion. It's just a different opinion, Sophie. You listen.
Should he have subbed Lacazette earlier in the game?
We could say yes. Of course you can. You could say yes, but he didn't. The fact of the matter is, we were not at the races, Sophie. There's no getting around it. The players are not at the races, and they are not the same team, Sophie. I don't know what's going on, but they are not at the races.
And the manager is responsible for this.
It comes down to the manager, but that's exactly why he picks the team. So if he's responsible for it, he's the one who picks the team. Let him pick his team, take his risk.
Do you think, how sometimes, and you played with players that just don't train well, but they're brilliant on match day. Do you think he takes way too much stock in trusting what happens on the training pitch during the week versus letting a renegade like Pepe maybe unleash himself in a game where we desperately need a talented player to maybe be able to change things? And by the way, Pepe scored more goals against Brighton than any Arsenal player. He didn't take that into consideration much.
That counts for nothing. At the end of the day, listen, there's managers.
So stats and data counts for nothing.
Sorry?
So that doesn't count for anything that he likes to play
Counts for
against
nothing.
Brighton and scores.
No, it counts. It counts for nothing. The manager's got to choose a team he believes is going to win the game. And the fact of the matter is, there are certain managers who let players get away with stuff in training. You could train a certain way, and there are certain managers who stick to how that they train in the week means everything. Means everything. He's one of them managers, and rightly so. George Grant was one of them managers as well. So, I listen. And the great thing is, I get what you're saying, but the fact of the matter is, the manager's been the same way this season. Going through the good times, now we take a dip, all of a sudden, the sky's falling. No, it's not.
It's not.
No, the
That's
sky
not what
isn't
I'm
falling.
saying.
I never said you are. I said all of a sudden the sky's falling. So I'm saying, no, it's not falling. It is not falling. Our team has taken a dip in form. We need some of these players. We need some players to step up. That's what we need.
We haven't been in the FA Cup for months. We lost the semi-final to the League Cup to one of the best teams in the world. Forget about that part. We haven't played in Europe. We've had moments this season where we've got 7-8 days, a couple times 10 days between games, and we've lost form.
Yes. There's
and
no
people
science
talk
to it,
about
so.
Lacazette being tired and Saka being tired. You always say no excuses. No excuses.
There are none.
This is the time of the season where this team needs to close the deal, and you need to trust the process to let's see progress. And we've seen plenty of it this year. We've still lost 10 games. We've gotten lucky in a few games, and there's a chance that we could still finish in 6th. There's a chance that we could still finish in 4th, but not if he takes stupid risks and plays Xhaka at left back and plays Lokonga all by himself in the middle. I felt so bad for him. Terrible. Terrible decisions. So it makes you question whether or not we're going to have the capability to do that. We haven't even played West Ham and Chelsea and Tottenham and Manchester United and a resurgent Leeds yet. We got Newcastle, Everton fighting for their lives. Crystal Palace lost to Leicester at the weekend. I mean, we've been garbage the last 2 days, 2 games.
100%. I agree.
10 games
so.
we've lost this season, Kev. 10.
Yeah, we have. Yet we're still there with a shout for top 4.
Luckily, I disagreed with Lee a little bit on this a couple of weeks ago, but because, you know, teams around us haven't been that great either. So we've benefited from that.
Yeah, but we still have to do our job. You don't get in this, but listen, let me just tell you this. You don't get in the position because of the teams around you. You get in the position because you win games and you get points. The other teams have to look after themselves. It's nothing to do with us. We've got to look after ourselves. And yeah, have some of them teams been of the level that they've been over the years? No, they haven't, but that's not our problem. Our problem is Arsenal. That's our problem. Our problem is Arsenal. And should we have gone in and done all that? Yeah, of course we should have brought some bodies in January. We agreed on that, but we didn't. So we fight on. And here we are with, 8 games to go. And now we find ourselves. Now we find ourselves. Well,
this is where
but we're not. No, but we're not. We're not falling apart. That's what I'm saying. The sky isn't falling.
We've fallen apart the last 2 games, Kev. Completely.
I'm saying the sky isn't falling, but we've taken a dip, and we need to get out of the funk ASAP.
In the last 2 games, the sky fell, and we have been rubbish. The sky hasn't fallen for the entire season. The last 2 games, we've been absolute garbage.
We've been garbage. So hence why I'm saying we need players to step up.
AFC Cape Town, hopefully I'll give you some medicine for that. I'm making you sick tonight. Wow, that's nice. Honesty. That's what happens when you give some truth serum.
Hey, it's opinions. AFC Cape Town. Sophie's got her opinion, and we haven't seen each other. So this is where we want to air it out to you guys. There shouldn't be anybody making you sick. Whether you agree with Sophie, you don't. Whether you disagree with me, there's many people who disagree with me. That's fine. That's fine. But it's an opinion.
I feel very strongly. If the sky isn't falling, what's that? Where is that? If the sky isn't falling, why is there a jumbo jet in my garden? Overreacting guide, it's a blip. Crystal Palace was a blip. Brighton is a major dip. Southampton, that would be form.
Sophie, this is what I will say. After the last 2 games, it is a concern. It's a concern. And here's the key. If it goes to Southampton, remember, Southampton just got absolutely wiped out by Chelsea. We have to win. Sophie, we've got no other choice. We've got to win out. Really,
we
to
can't
stand
do
any
that.
chance. No,
We've got with this team.
But we've got to have that mentality. We've got to. We take it game by game, but we've got to win. We need players to step up. Unfortunately, Sophie, we have dipped at the wrong time. We've dipped at the wrong time.
We dipped at the wrong time, but we also have a manager who made such poor decisions that it didn't help us win that game. That is a problem. That is a major league problem, which is why I lose a little faith in that. Is he going to do that against Southampton?
Yeah, but losing a bit of faith, Sophie, is understandable. I'll tell you, it's understandable. Because that's the life of a fan. When we're in this position and then you take a dip, we don't want dips. So we don't want dips. But we're dipped.
The manager's dipped too. They've all dipped. Has the manager not dipped?
We've dipped as it's everyone together. So it's not just the players, it's everyone.
I want you to say the manager has dipped.
No, it's
you say
everyone.
The players have dipped.
No, the players have dipped performance-wise. How do you mean, why can't I say that? Of course I can say that. I said the mistakes were the managers. The managers dipped. The players have dipped. The football club has dipped. Jesus, please.
What about January? You never answered the question about it coming back to bite us. You said that
I'm the one who said it. I'm the one who said it. What are you talking about? I'm the one who said it.
Shows.
No, I said it today. If you go back and watch, I said the fact of the matter is we could talk about January all we like. The fact of the matter is we didn't bring anybody in and we rolled on and we still were up here. So I don't even want to talk about January because it's about now.
Yeah. So Kev, what would you do? So this was Potter outscored Arteta. Vieira outscored Arteta. Our players got outscored by a very poor Brighton team who, like I said, hadn't scored in 9 games, never won a Premier League match in the month of April. When stuff like this goes on, Kev, what is the conversation, do you think, in training this week? What is he doing this week in preparation for Southampton? Take us behind the white lines.
Well, there'd be meetings, obviously, about what their obligations are, what their objectives are, and he's trying to get them back on track. Because at the end of the day, Soph, the training has to be right. You've got to be looking after yourself right. Because now, that Southampton game, the most important game is the next one, Southampton away, and that is a huge game for Arsenal. It's one we have to win. So, again, in training, you're going to be doing all the prep work. Like I said, it happens for every game, Soph. It just doesn't happen different for Man United than Brighton. No, every game is the same. You prepare, you do your video study, you see how they play, you work on movements, how to expose them, etc. But it all comes down to one thing, Sophie. On the day. And the last two game days, we have been nowhere near where we were.
Also, Kev, by the way, Jonathan, I love fans like you. I really do. It's just 2 games. We've lost 10 games. We've lost 2 games we should have won. We're going for top 4. It's not just 2 games. It is 2 mega games that were the games we were supposed to win or at least get a point from, not lose back to back. We haven't recovered from the Palace game. Now we've lost to Brighton. So we're hoping for the team to recover and react against Southampton. So it is not just 2 games. It is huge that we lost these 2 games. It matters. We still have a game in hand. It's in our hands. But my goodness, weren't we all more confident when Tierney was fit and Partey was fit and the idea of Tomiyasu coming back? Then the manager goes and does what he does and picks the team he does against Brighton. Completely unnecessary. It's not just 2 games. Because the games we've got coming are going to be a lot tougher than these just 2 games.
Yeah, but we can't talk about what's going to happen ahead. We hope, but we could only talk about this body of work. This last 2 games is where we dipped. So, do we expect to be? Do you tell me? Do we expect to go to Southampton and win? Of course we do. We need it more than them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy, though. I mean, it wasn't going to be easy before. It's not going to be easy now. They're going through a bit of a dip because their focus is the Europa League right now.
Sophie, it's never easy. Let me tell you, it's never easy. And anybody who was around for 89, you know, remember the 2 games before Anfield? What happened? It is never easy. Losing to Derby and then drawing with Wimbledon. It is never easy, so these games you expect to wipe the floor with these teams. It's not. It is never that simple.
You know, this
especially
argument,
when you dip.
Yeah, this whole thing about I've seen this, Matty K. The truth is, not one Arsenal fan called fourth. There are some that actually did. Very few. I did not at all. But this notion now where there are people on social media say, if I'd have showed you this at the beginning of the season, if I'd have stop that bloody nonsense. You sound ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I probably sound ridiculous to many too.
Me
like
too.
Kev says, it's about deluded. Opinions.
I'm deluded,
but
so it's all right.
Now we're here. Don't do that.
Deal with it here. Yeah. Don't do that. Do we want it? Of course we want it. This is why we're so passionate about these decisions and the team, the structure of the team. Of course, Sophie, I get it. I definitely get it. And anybody saying, oh, at the start of the season, listen, the fact of the matter is we've got 8 games to go and we're here. Let's maximize it.
The other thing too is preparation. Football is about being prepared. Okay? Not only game day, game time. But this is the other thing that I find difficult to comprehend sometimes is that, we laud Arteta and Edu for our summer signings. And we always stood by them on this show. There's no doubt about that. They've had 5 transfer windows together now. We've spent close to 300 million, definitely 250 plus. Mm-hmm. And we don't have a prolific striker. We don't have backup in midfield. We've left ourselves weaker in the right back position. We don't really have that quality centre back to come in if Gabriel and Benjamin White are injured. One is playing in France currently. So preparation is everything. And Arsenal Football Club tend to leave themselves short season after season after season. Wenger did it, not building on Sanchez and Santi and Ozil. For years, he ignored replacing Vieira. Emery went out and bought some duds. Didn't get the support he wanted with the players he wanted to bring in. Garbage executives overseeing the business side of things when Emery was manager. This team have the support, the resources, and the ears of the owners. 5 transfer windows, 250 plus spent, and here we are. People celebrated our wage bill. Reducing the wage bill doesn't get you fourth. Saving money, what's that about? Football's about winning. It's about investing. Newcastle United were able to convince Bruno Guimaraes to go there because of what? Money. And maybe a roadmap to say, hey, you know what, in a couple of years we'll be in the Champions League because this is what we're going to do. I'm so tired of the excuses. And I have supported Arteta a lot over the last 3 or 4 months. I have. I've tried to be really positive. And I'm not being melodramatic and I'm not being overreactionary.
So on 2 games, all of a sudden the sky's fallen. That's why I said it
that's
before.
not what I'm saying, Kev.
No, I'm asking you.
The sky.
I'm asking you.
Okay, and my answer was the sky fell against Palace and against Brighton. The sky hasn't fallen yet because the season isn't over. But if we had been better prepared as a club, in our investments, maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't be in the position for the sky to fall against certain teams and lose 10 games in a season. That's all. Why can't that be without me wanting someone fired or it feeling like, oh, 2 games, No.
No, but we all want Arsenal to be in the best possible position. But at the end of the day, the club move in the way and the manner that they move. That's it. I would have liked 2 strikers to come in January, so I would have liked 6 players to come in January. But they didn't do it. Why? Because they've got a plan. I don't agree with it, but they've got a plan, Sophie. I'm a fan. I'm going to support them. Whatever happens, I'm going to support them. And then let's see where we finish up. That's all I can say.
Kev, when you challenge things, people say I've been faking it, supporting Arteta over the last few months.
Well,
I've been happily having humble pie baking for me, and it's still baking.
The thing is, Sophie, because the last 2 games has made you concerned, and by the way, rightly so, and you voice it. Obviously, you're going to have detractors coming at you because all of a sudden you're looking at Arteta, whereas before it was like you've got to give him some props. But this is football. That's the way football is. That is the way football is, guys and girls.
Kev, what team would you pick against Southampton this weekend? Would you stick to the lineup you gave me for what you would have done against Brighton?
What I would have done for Brighton. That's the one for me. That would be the one for me.
Other than, yes, supporting it as ups and downs, but you can. This is a show about opinions based on what we see, and it's my opinion that we've got some issues still. And sometimes,
100%.
when you get injured and you put a Band-Aid on it, and it masks pain that's still there. There might be an infection. You haven't cleaned it out properly.
Well,
and this notion we've just done this and that. It's 3 years almost. That's a long time in football.
But not a long time. It's a long time, but it's not a long time. Because you know what? It took us 2 years to clear out the crap.
Kev, I failed to mention that there's 440 people in live chat on a Monday night who are probably somewhat enjoying tonight.
We need a freer. Look, Gooners, we need a freer. Just do a Vinny, because we're on a roll at the moment. Do a Vinny, please. Just stick it in the corner. Sophie, I don't even want to brook anyone's neck. But you know what?
Talk to me,
It
Kev.
is painful for us, Soph. I get it. It is painful for us. Especially when you see that result yesterday. For that lot. You know what I mean? I mean, it's later on in the day, and then you see that result for Air, and then you see the results, and you're like, There's got to be a meeting. I guarantee you there would have been a meeting at Coney, and they would have been discussing, guys, we have to come back together, because the togetherness, Soph, the togetherness that we had Aston Villa has gone missing the last 2 games. That's my point. Regardless of who's on the pitch, that togetherness is not there anymore. And that's what I want back.
Do you think we got too cocky, Kev?
Confidence,
one thing, cocky another thing?
Sophie, maybe. And we could say, then we could say, is it because we're a young team? The young team have got us here close. But is it the young team all of a sudden who start to believe a couple of players have all of a sudden now become full internationals and this, that, the other? Is it you just, bit more swagger and not enough that? I don't know, but Sophie, do you know what? We better have a look in that mirror and get ourselves together, because I'm telling you, this is a huge 8 games left. Huge.
It really is. It really is. And it starts with Southampton this weekend.
Yes.
Who have been a bit tricky for us at times, Kev.
At times, yeah, they have. They always give us a tough game, Soph, don't they? They always play us tough. They always do.
Tell me one thing. So for those of you out there who, I can't remember who was it, Kulishevsky or... I'm just joking.
Hey, by the way, name
Christoph...
block, stop that nonsense. Stop it. Because you know what? 3 games ago, you would never have put that. Now, all of a sudden, the mistakes are unprepared. It's nonsense. Fair enough. Be upset for the last 2 games. It hasn't been good enough. I agree with you. But, come on. We've still got a chance.
So, Kev, I did a show last week when we lost against Palace. The Monday you weren't here. Mm-hmm. No, the Tuesday. Or was it Wednesday? Anyway, I did the show. It was Wednesday because you were here Monday, Tuesday. Been a long week without you. And it was 5 things to still be happy about this season. Mm-hmm. So for those of who think, I'm negative, no, I've been trying to spin this positively, and we've done a few of those shows this season. And for me was the fact that, mathematically we're still in it. And the other one was opportunity for players to come in when there are injuries, to a Tierney, to a Partey. And even like for a Pepe, is there going to be an opportunity for him? Other than other than the fact that we're still in it, what symbol of still be happy about this season, even after 2 devastating losses, could you share with everyone?
For me, it's I want to see that togetherness. That is so vital for me as an ex-player who's been in the dressing room. I want to see that togetherness, because you could have that togetherness and lose games, Soph. But if the players perform and fight and they lose, you hold your hand up and say, fair enough. But we've been so poor in the last 2 games, and I'm looking for, okay, we've dipped, but that fight, that togetherness isn't there, Sophie. And the crowd were trying to get the guys going, but I didn't see that hunger, that desire. I didn't see it. That for me is vital. Whether we get top 4 or not, I will need to see this team fight to the last. That tells me more about that identity than anything else. Not going down with a whimper at Palace and then going down with a whimper against Brighton. No. I want to see them fight. I want to see them chucking the chicken sink at it, so I want to see them going for it. And if they fail by going for it, you will hear no moaning from me. I could tell you that much.
Yeah.
And they show that same desire and passion. But the last 2 games, Sophie, I have not seen it. And they need to get back to that, because that is the intangible that you cannot train or teach. It's either you've got it or you haven't. And they have to get back to that, Sophie, for me.
100% agree with you. You know, when I was watching Man City Liverpool yesterday, I was a lot jelly. Kev.
Envious. I admit it, Soph. I'm envious of it. I want that to be Arsenal. In the big games, what matter. And going into it, knowing we go a goal down, we'll come back. Do you know what I mean? Like Liverpool, go a goal down, then they go a goal down again. Boom.
It was like a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, like heavyweight fight. Virginia, I will say, I ain't losing my head over the 2 games because I know what I want to see. And it may be not what other people want, Soph, Virginia. It may not be that. But I want to see that togetherness, that brotherhood. That's what I want to see. I want to see that because you know what? That will get us through most games.
We're so far away from what we were watching yesterday, Kev. How many, like, in this squad, okay, I actually think we need a left back this summer. Kieran Tierney is not durable, Kevin.
So, I've said it, we need 8 players, right?
Yeah.
Whichever way you want to spin it, we need 8 players. We need 8 players.
Do you remember when people laughed at us when we said we'd take Tammy Abraham in the January transfer window?
Oh, they laughed at us. They laughed us out of town, Soph. You telling me he couldn't be doing a job for us?
This is why Champions League football, even start with Europa League football. It won't get you a Kevin De Bruyne, but it could get you another Aubameyang maybe in his height, right? It could get you a good goal scorer who has played in the Champions League. I don't know, yeah. Kev. But without Champions League football, we can't attract those kinds of players that we need, that we want. It's very few and far between that someone ends up being a gem who got stolen for X amount of money. It's not easy.
We definitely we need the top end of the pitch to be a lot more dangerous than it is, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, we're biding our time, obviously, to get someone in the summer, but you know, here's where we are, and I want that togetherness back. I think it's so vital to us, so really is. And I know, listen, the manager got it wrong at the weekend. 100% he got it wrong. Picked the, but that doesn't stop the team showing the fight. Mm-hmm. That doesn't stop it. And they never showed it again. So that's 2 games now, so they never showed it. We need to be better than that.
No, exactly. And most look, remember when Real Madrid, everyone wanted to play for Real Madrid and Barcelona? I think the tables have turned. I think a lot of players want to play for Liverpool and Man City. Jurgen Klopp and Pep are on another level of management. You know, I think Tuchel can still convince players, but who wants to go to Chelsea right now? Some problems there. And nothing to do with football, by the way. Yes. Champions League winners, Super Cup winners, World Club Cup champion winners. Man United used to be like the soup du jour in English football. Whew. Who didn't want to go there in the 90s? No one wants to go there now. Antonio Conte, if he gets Champions League football, he'll be a draw. He will. Because players will also want to play with Harry Kane and Son. We can't afford to fall further down the line, Kev. We just can't.
Yeah, but this is why this summer was always going to be the big one. if we can get to a spot that could really catapult us, that's great. But
there's a few folks in chat. We're leaving in a minute. You got 421 of you now on a Monday night. I don't want to leave you, but this is what I'm worried about. You know, I want my club to succeed. For all I care, you know, Bill Clinton could be manager. I don't care. As long as whoever succeeds in that position, it means our club succeeds. It's about winning, competing, attracting great players, good players who become great players. We've always been that type of club that attracted those kinds of players and turned them into legends. You know, modern day football is tough. It's instant gratification. It's money. Owners
money,
have to
fame,
step up.
Spotlight. You know, there's so much riding on all this social media. You know, the hype, so big, but none of that matters, Sophie, if they don't have that. None of it matters. And the last 2 games, I haven't seen it. And that's what I need to see. I'm telling you. Yeah. I can take defeat, Sophie. But when you're not doing what you're supposed to as a player on that pitch, when you've shown you can do it.
Exactly. There was this
that
meme
for me is the worst.
There was this meme I loved. I found it's like, you know, be a lion, eat people's faces, you know, just like crush it every day. I mean, if they're playing like lions every game and we lose, we played like lions.
Yeah.
But we're not. You're right.
We'll accept.
You're right,
we would take that, Soph. You know, when we played Liverpool, we lost to Liverpool. The crowd, we said like we lost the game, but you know what? They showed that they had the hunger. They showed that they had the application. They showed that togetherness, desire. A couple of little things went wrong, and the better team beat us on the day. Just like against Man City, we were the better team. They beat us on the day because they had a little bit more know-how. But we showed that desire, Sophie. That for me is key. When we don't show the desire, the likes of Brighton and Crystal Palace beat us.
Yeah. And again, I stand by what I said, like, you know, guys, when we were drawing 0-0 at Anfield against Liverpool with 10 men, no one was questioning leadership.
Very true.
So we've credited Aaron Ramsdale and Gabriel and Benjamin White.
And we've credited all of them, Soph.
For having
We've
that
credited
chip in
them
them.
all.
And, you know, this is where, like, I want to see the manager just step it up himself. Don't say that the players don't have courage. Show some courage in your players that you signed.
And Sophie, can I just
better.
make this point? I want to make this point. The reason why I want to see that desire and togetherness on the pitch is because when things are not going right, on the pitch, that's where you see everybody fighting and getting people in and controlling. That's what I want to see. Because it's easy when it's going well, Sophie. It's easy to be, yeah, come on and all that kind of thing. It's when it's not going right is when it matters most to me. When Brighton have taken the lead and then you're going to get them and make life difficult for them and you're going to fight and you're going to get the crowd up. That's when it matters most. So when things are going good, it's easy. But when the chips are down, how many do that? Come on, Brighton. We want blood. If you're going to beat us here, you're going to have to draw blood. That's how it was when I played. That's how it was with the invincible teams. That's how it is with the Arsenal great teams. You want to beat us, you're going to have to draw blood. And yeah, sometimes you can lose. Yeah, of course you can. Richard, 10 losses. I get it. But we're still there with a shout. But it's that fight that we need. We need that fight, Soph. And I'm fine. I'm fine. These 2 losses are gone for me now, and we've dealt with it today. But Southampton, if I don't see that fight, Soph, and that, we ain't going nowhere.
Fast.
I'm telling you, we need that. That's been the nucleus of making us be challenging.
Totally.
That togetherness, and we need it. We need it back.
Listen, you guys, listen to P Trim here. The only pod to have opinions read without paying. Big up, hit the likes if only for that. Why not? Hit the like button. You don't lose. You're not going to lose like we did to Palace and Brighton. You'll win.
You're all winners. You're all winners, squaddies, because Sophie's been looking after you, and then she's brought me back. There you go. Come on
Back
now.
down to earth.
Back down to earth.
Down to earth today.
I've been taking some hits, I know, but you know what? I love it. I love this show so much because it's about opinions. Your opinion differs to mine on some things, Sophie, and we have it out on camera. I love it. Honestly,
Yep.
I do. You know how much I respect you. I respect the squaddies.
Beyond.
And I respect everybody.
Exactly.
But we got to have it out, and we have it out, and then we move on to, we'll move on to tomorrow.
Exactly. E. Ross, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ross.
And we love that you love the channels. Different by agreeing with you, Newman. Newman and Virginia have been going at it in chat. I love the sub.
Brock him up, Virginia. Brock him up. Down.
We love you guys too. That's it for tonight. What a great show, Kev. It's so good to have you back. I couldn't wait to get your take on
Sophie,
it.
Can I just say this? I didn't even look at the time. I've only just looked at the time.
Me too. We've been on air for 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Listen, by the way, squaddies, this is the show. You know that. This is the channel. This is the show. Go nowhere else. Unless we're not on. You can go over there. Mo, love ya. You can go over there and check out Lee and all that. But you know where home is. Right here. Where the heart is. We love you.
Totally. Tomorrow I'll be making a wee announcement about a London show. So you're going to want to tune in for that. I think tomorrow we have the Arsenal Lounge Boys on the show with us, Kev, for a little bit.
Right.
So,
okay.
yeah. Tammy, thanks for being the CLO, the Chief Like Officer, always doing a great job. No bookings tonight,
Tammy.
Kev. No bookings. Thought it was going to get a little tricky. Krishnan, 1:50 a.m. in India.
Well
How
done.
about them
Well done,
apples?
Krishnan, for staying up with us. Thank you.
Listen, Curtis and Kevin will probably have a conversation at some point.
Yeah, he messaged me. It's just a matter of
Okay,
when I can get on because that's going to be fire. And by the way, I saw his meltdown. I saw somebody sent me his meltdown. Yeah, listen, it's passion at the time. I get it. And he said some things, but listen, I'll chop it up with Curtis when I can.
Brilliant stuff. All right. Well, look, we'll be back live tomorrow, and there is a new auction up. It's Thomas Partey. But wait, it gets better.
Oh, okay. look at the other bit as well. Wow.
So, Kev, there are, if you enter this, your name also goes into a pot to win one of 13 others, and one is a signed shirt by Liam Brady. Let me see. Hold on. I've got to take the picture so I can see your face. I want that.
Sophie.
I
The
want
legend that is Liam. And you know what?
Santi's another one as well.
And
Well done,
Santi's there.
Christoph.
I mean,
yeah. It's
for
a good one.
$3.95, Soph.
I know.
Oh, my God.
$3.95, and you could not only win Thomas Partey's shirt, but you could win Liam Brady, Santi, and there's others as well, which I'll announce as the week goes on. Amazing. Right.
Brilliant.
Kev,
Now that is a bargain.
That is.
That is a bargain.
I might get Tony's.
I knew you.
I might get Jags to get me a ticket.
Oh yeah, get Jack. Hey, hold on, he was mine. I was supposed to be buying mine. That guy, he won it. I'll never see it again. Oh jeez.
Take us out, Kev.
Listen, squaddies, we've had it a little bit tough over the last couple of days, last couple of games, match days. But you know what? There's some constants in our life. This young lady is one who looks after you and helps you, and she'll discuss everything. She'll discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly, and she looks after you guys, and she just makes it so nice for me to ease back in and then broke you up. Right? So behave yourself. And we love you. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them. Don't leave it. And if anybody has a go at Newman, good on you. All the best, squaddies. We love you. Take good care wherever you are, and at ease, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.